A new study shows the Apple News app promotes articles from left-leaning outlets and shuts out conservative news sites. Joining me now is California Post opinion editor Joel Pollak. Joel, this looks like Apple News is flat out supporting left-wing causes. Is it?
It does appear that way. The Media Research Center looked at 620 Apple News articles, and 440 of them were from left-leaning outlets. 180, the remainder, were from centrist outlets, and as for right-leaning outlets, like the New York Post, for example, or the California Post, there were none, no references whatsoever. Now, the question is why? We know that tech companies in the past have had a problem with left-wing bias. Is it the executive decision at these companies? Is there some editorial policy that's trying to push readers in a particular direction? Is it the employees somehow encoding their own political preferences into the algorithms? Or is it the anticipated response from the users? Because sometimes viewers or readers can be quite intolerant when they see a news outlet pop up that they recognize, let's say, as being on the right. They can be quite angry if they see a label like Fox Business, for example. They say, oh, well, that's right-wing, and I don't want to vote that way, so they don't want to read the story. So we're not quite sure exactly what's causing it, but there does seem to be a pronounced bias.
Joel, I'm going to read a fairly long statement that we got from Apple, and here it is. It's a statement about the allegations. Apple says their news app, quote, provides access to news spanning a wide range of topics from more than 3,000 publications, including the Wall Street Journal, Fox News, Bloomberg, USA Today, Washington Examiner, New York Post, CBS News, local outlets, and more. Apple News users can tailor their app to their interests by choosing to follow or block specific publications or topics. Okay, got that. Next one, Joel. President Trump is expanding his fight against fraud. Watch this.
Take a look at Minnesota. So we think it's at least $19 billion of fraud, medical, every fraud. Somalia has come in here. We're looking at California, too, because California is worse. But, you know, if we find 50%, you know, look, they've been robbing and ripping off this country for many years, for decades, right? If we find 50% of what's happened, we have a balanced budget without cutting anybody. Minnesota is very corrupt. California is very corrupt. A lot of states are very corrupt.
What do we really know? Is the fraud in California as bad as what we've seen in Minnesota?
No, it's a lot worse because California has a massive budget. It's the largest state by population and the fourth largest economy in the world, and you can imagine that the scale of fraud is much bigger. We know from several examples, for example, the 20 to 30 billion plus that was stolen from the state's unemployment department during COVID, to even smaller amounts that are now being investigated, like the $500 million the state wasted on trying to revamp its 911 emergency system. You know, when you spend $500 million on something like that and it goes nowhere, you either have extreme incompetence or you have someone along the way, maybe several contractors or other people, who are able to divert that money into their own pockets without providing a service. And California doesn't have adequate safeguards internally as a state because it is a one-party state. In fact, recently, when Republicans and some moderate Democrats began raising questions about the state budget, they were kicked off their committees. In the state legislature, the party bosses simply say, that's too much, those are too many questions, we don't want to answer that, and they got kicked off. That's the climate in California that allows fraud, unfortunately, to proliferate.
That's pathetic. Last one for you, Joel. The California Post has been up and running for a little more than 2 weeks now. I think you are the first right-of-center newspaper in California. What has been the response to the California Post?
Well, it's been overwhelmingly positive. People are very happy to see it. There are Democrats who are happy to see it. They like the irreverence of the Post. They like the puns in the headlines, the sense of humor. And mostly they like seeing a mirror held up to the state as a whole. There have been some very good conservative blogs and some local or regional papers, but we are really bringing an ambitious scale to news coverage in California, and it's been incredibly exciting. The team of journalists is really top-notch, really an all-star team under Nick Papps there, and California Post is really starting to make waves already.
Congratulations, Joel Pollak. A great start to a great newspaper. And we'll see you again
Thank you.
soon. Thank you, Joel.